Okay, so we move on to the next topic is why do people seek life coaching? Now, at different stages of our lives, we may face challenges that we need to reach out for extra support. And it always helps finding someone to get support from. So many people might seek support from professionals, friends, family, but for some, having a person that will help them see their strengths and harness their talents is something they choose to do. People contact life coaches for a multitude of reasons. So one, they could be stuck at a crossroad. Two, they need help finding motivation. Three, they just don't know what they want from life. Or they want to get fit and healthy and need accountability. So really they need accountability. Okay, so what if it is a life coach's job is to help the client to build on the strengths and achieve, say, their goals. Now, coaches may initially have to deal with the perception of them as a counsellor, someone who advises on mental health, say. But this is not the case. They may also have to help clients who are reluctant, who have been sent out for coaching because issues at work, and perhaps a client that is demotivated. Many life coaches go on to specialise and refer clients to other coaches if the client's issue is outside of their remit of expertise. Now, the client's perceptions. Perceptions, first of all, what are perceptions? So perceptions are beliefs that a client or someone holds about the world. Now, this could inhibit, what I mean by inhibit is limit a client's potential, because often they have been inherited and ingrained from a social environment over the years. So when someone has a perception, it's usually because of your social environment or the people you're with or your family members. They've ingrained that into you over a number of years, and that can really put rosy glasses on the way you see the world. Now, these experiences can be positive or negative, and whether they are negative or positive, they still influence our perceptions. And certain perceptions will impact the coaching and motivation of a client. Now, I'm going to give you some examples. So one could be laziness. Another one, uncertainty, need to control, fear of change, and fear of conflict, or rocking the status quo. What that means is the current run of things. So in this case, it's the coach's role to confront. Here's the key word: confront. So what we're saying here is, clients have perceptions. These are just like humans, and every person, they have perceptions, and these perceptions are molded by social environments that they may have lived in for a long time, a long while. And some of these perceptions include these points here. So, and this which could impact the relationship between the coach, which will impact on the coaching and the motivation of the client. So if the client has laziness, if they're uncertain, if they feel they need to be in control, or their fear of change or fear of conflict, then this could impact their motivation during the coaching course. So in order to tackle these issues, the coach must confront the client's perception of reality, identifying ways that may be hindering the client from growing. So it's a method where you can use to challenge discrepancies in a client's discourse or their actions. For instance, a client may use contradictions in their speech, which might highlight discrepancies between their thought and then their action. I'll give you an example. So when a client says, I really want to lose weight, but I eat kebabs after a few pints on a Thursday night. Here, the coach's role would probably be to gently but assertively confront the client between discrepancy to help them ascertain what their true intentions and goals are. So your intention and goal is to lose weight, yet you have kebabs and a few pints on a Thursday night. That is a discrepancy that needs to be confronted, but in a gentle manner. Already we've just touched on the word gentle, so it moves me on to my next point. What are the key traits of an effective coach? So, key traits of an effective coach. Number one is active listening. So a great coach will master listen. It has to be done. It's important because the client needs to feel that they're heard and validated. And it's a skill that every coach needs, and it's always in constant improvement. It's about listening attentively to the client and then the ability to summarize the content of what the client has said, and you say it back to the client. Because in this situation, it's important that the client feels heard and understood, as any discrepancies could harm the relationship. So this is the most important trait of a life coach. And active listening does take a lot of practice. It could be difficult to listen for too long, or often our thoughts will cloud out what the other person is saying when you're trying to listen. And so active listening therefore requires a lot of concentration on the coach's part. Also, the second trait is enabling. What we mean by this is the coaches have to enable the clients. That means encourage and support their growth and focus on the positives. Try not to derail a client with negative talk. So it's important that you always remain positive and you always believe in the client. You'll always try and harness and focus on the client's strengths if you're a good coach. Okay, so just to go over that again. So enabling would be to enable and encourage and support the client and focus on the positives of them. So that will be more to harness and focus on their strengths, and to not derail a client with negative talk. The third point for an effective coach would be committed to learning and development. So a good coach will always be committed to their own learning development. You usually, as a good coach, you'll have to keep track of the latest tools and techniques and take courses for continuous professional development. A good coach will also be very organised. So you need to be able to prioritise tasks, be committed to managing your own time. And it's very important for the well-being of your client as making sure that you're on time for their appointments with the client. Effective management and organisation is key to effectively running a good coaching practice. Fifth is to be very objective in your feedback mainly. So you need to learn to switch off your own feelings, your own beliefs, your own ideologies when you're working with a client. You cannot let your own values interfere with and influence the client, because the focus is cultivating the client's own personal beliefs and values, and not yours. So when you give them feedback, you need to be very objective and cut out your own feelings and emotions when you're delivering that. You need to be emphatic. So that means being very sympathetic. So many individuals seek a coach when there's a problem in their life, usually. I mean, they may feel stuck or unable to move forward. The client may have lost track of who they are as people. So it can be a very sensitive time for them. For this reason, it's important that the client needs to feel that they are being listened to, and the coach shows empathy towards them. 7, authentic. An effective coach needs to be authentic. This means that they are real, they are genuine people, and usually have a caring manner and approach. To be a life coach, you want to be caring, and you really want to help people. And it means to be true to yourself as a life coach, because this is what you expect from the client. Number 8, you to be inspiring. You should be inspiring. You should share your own personal inspiring message of how you've achieved your own goals. You're upbeat and encouraging and positive, and just around positive people. So now we'll go on to setting the coaching scene. So we talked a lot about what is coaching, what does it mean to be coaching, what's the relationship about, how does it differ from mentoring, consulting and counselling, and now